Oh, hey everybody, this is my tutorial for Sixpence None the Richer song Still Burning from their album Divine Discontent. Some things we need to know before we start playing, in particular to this video especially, are that this video is going to cover the acoustic rhythm part of the song as closely as I could get it to the way it was originally played on the record. So this is one you can play right along with the record. Not that the other video I'm going to do should also work with that as well. But so yeah. So you'll want to lower your guitar a half step down if it's in standard tuning. So your E, A, D, G, B, E will all be flat. They'll all be flat. So you'll go from this to this. So if you don't have a tuner, let me give you some notes. I'll hold each one out for, I don't know, 10 seconds. Okay, and let's get into the Okay, let's start with the intro. We have 4 chords. They are F minor, A flat, E flat, and D flat. Now as I play along, I am going to have the tablature map show up so you know, so you don't have to rely solely on what you're seeing me do on the guitar, because you can't 100% do that. It's kind of difficult to see everything going on. I'll also provide tablature maps on the copy of the chord lyric sheets that I have here. So if the video, either pause the video to see them on the video or look at them on there. So you'll have 2 sources to look at there. Let me turn on the metronome. Metronome set to 88 beats per minute. So I'm playing in the actual time the song is in. Don't forget to use the YouTube gear mechanic feature to slow the video down if you need to play along, or even pause it and just play it by yourself for a minute. And don't also use the original Sixpence recording once you feel confident enough in the chord changes to play along with the actual recording. It should fit really well with the original recording, because I sure as heck tried. So let's turn on the metronome. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Okay, so let's look at how we do those chords. The F sharp minor, now some fingering preferences are going to be up to you, so you have to consider that. If you don't like the way I do things, then you could always do a straight, barred F minor. I know it's like a sharp, but since the strings are a half step down, it's actually a regular F. So you can, if you prefer the sound of that barred version of the chord, feel free, and if you want to play a straight major, you can do that too. That's fine. Whatever's working for you, or in the context of the group you're playing with, I'm trying to give you a little flexibility so you're not just stuck in the rut of what I'm showing you with just the one thing. Now, but I do think the one thing I'm doing is much closer to what Matt actually did. So if you're trying to sound like Sixpence None the Richer, then the open version of that chord that is good. And if you have a bass player, he can cover that low F note, so you have the full chord represented in the sound of your group. So anyway, so there's the F minor, and the tablature map should be appearing, so I'm not going to explain the numbers. You can kind of see which fingers I'm using. And I do reach up with my middle finger and touch the low E string or 6th string and mute it. So I just get a sound. You could use your thumb too, but I personally, with the way my hand is, I kind of have conflicts and start muting my high strings when I don't want to. So I prefer to use my middle finger to do that with. But whatever method works for you, use that. Okay, for the A flat chord, it honestly sounds like Matt's playing a second to me. It doesn't sound like a major, but the major is fine. It's harmonious. It wouldn't conflict with it. And with that, I go from here, and then I leave that finger there, and I slide it a little bit to make room for my middle finger to press down on the D string or the 4th string, and then with my ring finger, I reach up and I touch the low E to mute that, and then I have the notes are as such. From there, I'll go to the E flat, which if I have my fingers in this position, all I'm going to do is I'm going to slide my pointer finger down to the 1st fret on that same 3rd string or G string. And then I could even slide this finger, middle finger, over a little, take the finger that was muting the low E and reach it down to the A string, press it, and do that. I wish that was my habit, but my habit is this. I still get the same notes. So it's still the same. So those notes being like so. So it's just a more friendly transition from the A to the E chord. Doing it that way. And then from my E chord to my what I guess is I'm doing another 2nd chord. These fingers are coming up, and as they do so, my middle finger is going to just touch down in between the E and A, or the 5th and 6th, the low, and mute them while I slide my pointer finger from the 1st to the 2nd, and that's muting, and then my ring finger is going to press on my 2nd string on the 3rd fret, and I'll strum down. And you'll hear it, but when you strum quickly, you don't really notice the... So playing that slowly would be like... Even there, I had a little trouble going from that E to that D, so I would need to practice that a little more to make sure that's smooth and ready to go. But that is how to play the intro. Let's move on to the first verse. Okay, so let's look at the first verse. Well, what can I say about it that kind of makes it simplest is probably it's the same 4 chords as the intro. You're playing those 4 chords twice, just like you did in the intro. So it's just your singer or yourself being the singer as well as the instrumentalist, working out, singing the words where they happen in with those chords. Best thing I could recommend there is follow along with the Sixpence original recording. to get the placing of those words right. If you already are familiar and like this tune, you probably won't. That probably shouldn't take you too long, unless you're dealing with the battle of learning how to sing and play at the same time, which I myself am still learning with. 90% of the time, I've always been the player, guitar player who was backing up as a singer, which made my job a little easier. So let's go ahead and move on to the first, what I call the first pre-chorus. Okay, for the first pre-chorus, we do have a new chord to learn, a B flat minor. And the way I do it, where I keep having this high E flat string is open, because E flat, because I'm lower to half step. And so keeping this chord consistent with those other ones, like my A flat chord and my D flat chord, I'm playing the B flat minor like this, instead of a barred, which you could do, and that would be fine if it works with whatever it is you're doing or whatever group you're playing with. Or you could do it this way. I like it that way when I play it by myself. I think that sounds closer to what Matt did. And then from there, I'm jumping back into my F minor chord shape. So this particular version of it, with the way I switch, just has these fingers hop up from the 3rd and 4th to the 4th and 5th. They're staying on the same fret. This finger lets go, and this finger finds its way to the G string on the 2nd fret, and then this finger is muting the low E. So I'm having a little trouble. Whoops. Sorry, I forgot to. I'm not used to playing it this slow. And you can practice just going back and forth between those two chords, if that helps you really start to grasp that change. Which I probably need to do myself. And then we're going to go to an E flat. And my bad habit's going to have me go. And if it's easier, do it this way. See, if we're going from the B minor, it may be even easier to just pick up all your fingers, kind of keep these where they are, and jump them here, if that's your habit. If your habit of playing a B minor is like this, whoops, once again, wrong fret. Then you can still do the same general idea, letting go here, taking everybody, jumping up here. See, my fingers naturally want to go into that other shape. Like that, and that's fine. And then we're going to have to figure out from going into that E flat into that A flat chord, and that will be for our next part, the first chorus. Okay, so for the first chorus, we're still hanging on that E flat chord because the words for the first chorus began to be sung while the first chorus starts. So when you break. Now if you're jumping from that E into that A, what you can do is let go here, slide, see these fingers here? I'm going to slide that up to the 2nd fret and let this finger that was on the 5th string come up to the 6th and just touch it. So maybe getting into the habit of doing, if you're used to doing that quote-unquote E chord another way, then getting your fingering to be like this versus this might be suggested. If you are stuck in this shape, let go here, slide up here, do this. Because your next, the major seventh, the A flat major seventh, the next chord, just needs you to slide your finger back down like that. So the first chorus, I should play that all together. So when you break my arms, I'll take hold of you. I know your heart is a hand that takes hold of me. Okay, so there it is all put together. So if the A to the A major 7, and you could do the, get that, instead of, you can do the, so, and from that major 7th, you're just going to let go here, slide up one, rest between the 5th and 6th, and you could just play that second chord throughout. You don't have to do the really that is really them trying to transcribe the string, what's happening with the strings into the guitar or into the chording, which is sort of a way of just conglomerating all the parts together. I would, you know, just if you want to make it easier on yourself, just play the D flat second, just. My habit is to do the on that string, and I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I'm not stuck. I could unstuck. I could change my habit and not do that. But anyway, so that's some options for the first chorus. There. One thing to check: the major 7th. If you do it this way, I'm actually making it harder on myself. Probably should really learn to do it that way with fingers. How do I show that? Instead of my habit of making an A chord this way, do it this way. That way, going from the major to the major 7th is boatload easier. I'm kind of choking it when I do it the other way, so I should probably, my own personal fingering probably needs work. Yeah, so there's the first chorus. We have a small interlude that happens between the first chorus and the second verse. We're basically repeating our intro chords only one time. The first 4 chords that we played in the intro and verse 1, so I'm not going to go over the fingering again of those. The F minor, A flat, E flat, D flat. Again, I'm sorry, I usually was going to try to show the chart throughout each part, but there's that. Here's so you can see the first chorus is, and of course, again, the link is in the video description box below. You can print off your own copy, so you can see it all at once. It's about 3 pages long. Tried to make everything in bold font, and fairly large, so it's easy to read. Verse 2 is kind of a short verse compared to what happened in verse 1, and we'll look at that here in just a second. Okay, so verse 2, the hand that is breaking is the hand that is making all the dead things in me grow. We're not doing any chords we haven't learned already in the previous parts, so that's good. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here Here's verse 2. You can notice how I put all the dead in parentheses, and then all the dead is here, and you have, well, not parentheses, in italics, sorry. It's italics, and then I have that chord which you played here, which you should be playing, start playing here. I'm just putting it in parentheses to show where it falls in with this, with the rest of the line that's here. That was just to help keep you on track in terms of, you know, don't stop or things like that. So there's that last, all the dead things in me grow. Our B flat minor is back, and it's here in a hurry. Then we're going to play what I called the second pre-chorus. Let's take a look at that.